You're about to enter a space just outside of reality. Time doesn't behave, memories don't stay consistent, and the impossible happens quietly. These stories aren't just strange, they're evidence that something isn't quite right. Welcome to SideQuest Society, where we don't just question the world, we question what's behind it.
Glitches in the Matrix, my guys.
So, tonight, we're going to cover some unexplainable things, things that shouldn't quite happen,
Yep.
things that are rather unexplainable. I know I already said that.
Yeah.
Glitches in the time, rifts in the matrix, whatever you want to call it.
Something doesn't want us to talk about this.
Yeah, we've been having technical difficulties today while filming. We may have
The first was just us. This time it's not us.
may have opened a Pandora's box.
Okay, guys. So, what were you saying?
Time rifts, glitches in the matrix.
Yes. These ones are a little harder to explain. I only have one possible experience that could be labeled under this. I don't know what it could be labeled under. People can speculate a lot of things, so I guess it could fall into any category. But we'll get into that one later. Tonight, we're going to read a couple of Reddit stories about glitches in the Matrix, and we will discuss what they could possibly be and whatnot. So let me find the first one.
So I'll go ahead and pose the question while she gets ready there. What are your thoughts, your theories? Do you have an experience? Let us know. We'd love to hear it
Yep.
and might even talk about it. You send it in, we'll definitely talk about it.
No? All right. First one. I'm convinced we died 3 years ago.
Wow.
My best friend and I are currently spiraling because an event we survived together has somehow been rewritten. For reference, we don't drink or do drugs. We are 22 now, but when we were 19, we went on a trip to rural coastal area in Greece. We've discussed this specific day a million times over the last 3 years, and our memories of it are identical down to the smallest detail. Yet now, everything seems to insist it happened differently.
Hmm.
We were staying at a hotel in the middle of nowhere and decided to hike 2 hours along the coast to a restaurant on a remote cape. My friend was all dressed up in a platform heel, a long pink skirt, and a white top. Remember this. As we walked into the restaurant, we noticed a group of men all turned their heads towards us. This happened to us on a daily basis since we are conventionally attractive, so we really didn't bat an eye at it. However, throughout the whole lunch, they kept looking at us and talking to each other, and we couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. There was only two other couples, so it felt very pointed. As we left the restaurant, those men got up and followed us out immediately. In front of the restaurant, there were rocks leading into the sea and a few cars parked outside. We decided to take some photos on the rocks, but we saw the men starting to take pictures of us. They were also constantly on their phones, talking to someone while pointing their cameras at us. It was an open area and there wasn't another soul around, so it was obvious. We got really weirded out, but we didn't really have anyone to ask for help, and we came on the trip alone and didn't want to call and worry our parents, so we decided we should head back to the hotel. For context, I have been vlogging our whole trip so far and was filming everything, including this entire incident. As we started walking back towards our hotel, we were walking on the rocks that ran parallel to a rural, quiet road. Noticed that the men got in their car and were slowly driving behind us. After about 7 minutes, the rocks finished and the coastline hit a wall where the water met the land. The road we had been following went into a very thick, bushy area. These men were still creeping after us in their car the whole time. We knew if we went down that road into the bushes, they would probably try to kidnap us. To avoid the road, we decided to walk through the water to get to the next headland. The tide was quite high, over our knees, and I remember filming the whole thing. Us walking into the water with my friend in her platform heels and long skirt getting soaked. We kept looking back at the men who had stopped the car opposite where we entered the water. They actually got out of the car and were just standing there watching us walk through the sea. We eventually made it to the other side and sat on the bench watching them watch us until they finally drove off. The reason we are freaked out is that I recently went to find the footage for a birthday post for my friend. I wanted to make an edit of our iconic moments. I saw that the footage has been completely changed. In the footage of us taking excuse me,
Side quest, real quick, while we're taking a pause. Why are two young 19-year-old girls traveling abroad by themselves?
they're
That
adults.
is the worst thing that you could possibly do.
I mean, at least there was she wasn't alone. At least it was them together, but still I get what you're saying.
You started the trip off wrong.
Yeah, there should be at least somebody that I don't know. Um, that's a difficult one. All right. So I wanted to make an edit for of our iconic moments, and I saw that the footage had completely changed. In the footage of us taking photos by the sea, where it was definitely just us and those men, there are suddenly random women in bikinis right next to us who were never there. Most importantly, the footage of us is in the water is now somehow time stamped on a completely different day, and we are wearing different clothes, which means going into the restaurant and walking through the water has happened on different days. To add to that, the men and their car are nowhere to be seen. I watched the 20 minutes of us in the water, and I never once mentioned the car or panned the camera towards them. It just looks like we're randomly walking through deep water for no reason. We are both 100% sure we filmed those men while we were walking through the water. We talked about them in the whole video and afterwards for the vlog. Even weirder, I call a close friend who wasn't on the trip but who we have told this story to countless times, and he told me he's never heard it in his life. He was genuinely surprised why we wouldn't have mentioned something so crazy. My friend and I both have the exact same memory of us walking through the water and those men and because those men from the restaurant were after us. She thinks we experienced quantum immortality and that maybe in the original timeline something bad happened and our consciousness jumped to this version of reality. I wish this was a telephone glitch, but the fact that we are wearing different clothes in those two videos just signifies that it's not. I've reset my phone numerous times and it doesn't go back. Also, I watched the video numerous times in the last 2 years and they were always the same as I remembered. It's like our memories exist in a world that doesn't match the physical facts anymore. Has anyone ever experienced a shift like this? I'm wondering what else might not line up in this reality. That makes me think that we died together at some point, perhaps then, perhaps a bit later. And then she edits to clarify the comment about her friend wearing platforms to hike. She's like, she wears platforms everywhere: the beach, the shops, the walking across the. She's short, so she wants to look tall, so she wears platforms
Yeah.
everywhere.
She's
And
got a
then,
complex.
and she said, and then there was another edit of asking why they were wearing shoes in the water, and she's like, because the seabed where they were walking was full of rocks and urchins. But yeah,
So,
how
the quantum immortality, that's what I was trying to think of earlier. That is a popular rise on social media
yeah,
nowadays. Um, this story, I think we both came across it in our independent research.
yeah,
So, we definitely decided to throw it in here. It's a compelling, well, I can't really say compelling, but it is an interesting story.
yeah.
Um, Again, the 19-year-olds traveling abroad by themselves was a terrible choice straight off the rip.
Oh yeah,
Um, I can understand where some footage, sometimes things get lost, whatever.
yeah.
We've had glitches on our footage and everything like that. For it to be a completely new scene with now
Dif-
people in bikinis and
different clothes, different days.
yeah. The yeah, it's a little hard to argue. I'm not saying that it's not a possibility. It's
I
most
mean,
definitely a possibility. I
but why
mean,
would they both remember it the other way, the right way?
right. I have some vague stories that like me and whoever remember things slightly, but that's normal. You know, we have different perspectives or whatever.
Yeah.
But to that extent, yeah, that's
My story kind of falls into what could possibly be considered a quantum immortality situation. I don't know to this day. I know you know how dark our road is at night. And, back then I was probably doing some things I shouldn't have been doing and driving home,
no.
but I can't fully remember if I was impaired that night, but I remember driving home and it's dark, so it's late. Of course, restaurant life and whatnot. And I'm driving down, coming home. It's pitch black dark. There's no other cars on the road. I'm the only car. And all of a sudden, there's this big flash of light. It lights up the entire road, the trees, and everything. And it's gone. And nothing else happened. But like, it was a clear night. It was not cloudy. There were no storm clouds. There was nothing like this. So I don't know if possibly a quantum immortality thing happened and I wrecked and died, ran over something
Yeah.
and wrecked the car out and died, or if it was an alien. I don't
Abduction.
know. But I know it was not a flash of lightning because there was no sound, there was no clouds.
Yeah. It would be nice like if you happen to be like looking at the clock or something
Yeah.
and then like you seen like a span in time
Yeah.
change. Yeah. But who knows, man? I mean, I guess anything's really possible.
Never know.
Yeah, we'll
And
never.
apparently these types of things have been happening more and more. Like we come across it all the time with the big thing now is duplicates of things showing up in people's houses, handmade things at that.
Yeah, they'll have like something that a loved one crocheted or
Yeah,
made specifically for them, and now magically they have two of them.
yeah,
Sometimes the second one will go away. Sometimes the not.
yeah. I don't know if these are glitches, if they're possible parallel universes colliding or what. Speaking of parallel universes, we have a story for that as well.
All
So,
right, parallel universe.
parallel universe collide? She's like, all right, so a few weeks ago, we were having some strange weather. We have been bouncing back and forth between spring weather and winter weather, and we had a blizzard coming in as well as thunder snow. We don't experience the snow, but we've definitely been experiencing this bouncing back and forth of spring and winter.
Yeah,
So,
I've lived in some snow regions like in
yeah.
Alaska and stuff, but thunder snow that's a new one to me.
Yeah. So, I was lying in bed, winding down for the night, when there was a huge roll of thunder that shook the house. I could feel the bed shaking and hear objects rattling. It went on for an extended period of time, longer than I normally hear thunder, but not impossible. I live near train tracks, and a train goes through every evening, but this was nowhere close to the same noise, nor does the train ever cause my house to rattle. It's close enough to hear, but far enough away that it doesn't cause a loud noise or a large distraction. This roll of thunder made me jump because it was so loud and sudden. So when my husband came upstairs a few minutes later, I had made a comment about it. He asked, "What thunder?" And I said, "The one that shook the whole house." He said, "I didn't hear or feel anything. Maybe it was a truck driving by." I told him that I know what it sounds like when a truck drives by, and this wasn't close to the same sound. Plus, it went on too long for a vehicle driving by. I mentioned all this because ever since then, I have been having wild encounters that are making me lose my mind. Hopefully, relaying these doesn't count as multiple stories. So she's talking to the Reddit people here at this point. It's like, I have been hearing voices, footsteps, and whistling in my house. I've been hearing what sounds like my cat, who passed a few months ago, meowing throughout the house. Things that I specifically remember doing suddenly aren't happening. I remember emailing somebody and having them respond to me, only to have them reach out a week later looking for my response, only to see I never responded. This has happened on multiple occasions. One morning, I was grabbing a drink to bring to work. I was going to grab a bubbler, saw that my husband had picked up my favorite poppy, and specifically remember putting the bubbler down, opening the box of poppy, and putting the can in my bag. However, when I got to work, there was a bubbler in my bag.
Keep going. I
Oh,
was
sorry.
looking up something real quick.
Okay, sorry. It's just been a long list of things like this happening since that big boom of thunder a few weeks ago. It's making me wonder if parallel universes are a thing and if two collided that night. For additional reference, I do not drink or do drugs. I haven't had any in medication. I haven't had any new stress or traumatic events. And I am not prone to hallucinations or memory issues. I'm certainly fascinated by all this, but I also a little freaked out because nobody else I've talked to has been experiencing the same things.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I like I like how they always gotta include I don't drink or do drugs. I
Oh,
guess that's like the first thing people are gonna
yeah, of
comment.
course.
Yeah. The internet. Man, comment sections can be brutal
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
For no reason.
There were a lot of these that were reading people, and so a lot of them were like time jumps. There was this one where this kid was talking about him and his friend were sitting on the porch talking, and they were like, what time is it? And they looked down, and it's only like 9:15 or 9:30. So no, it's not as late as I think they thought it was. So they just started talking again. Thought they were only talking for like 15 to 20 minutes. Look down at their phone again, and it's 11:30, and they don't understand how 2 hours had passed by, and they're like, well, was there a time change? There wasn't. Like, it wasn't in the month that time change happened, and like people all in the comments are like, oh, I look. It was only 9:30, and we only talked for 20 minutes. Not like you could have lost track of time.
Man, that's like a southern goodbye over here, man.
Right?
Take you an hour. I come over for 10 minutes and it took me 20 minutes to leave because you had to say goodbye for
Oh,
20.
I hit snooze and
Yeah.
only slept for 10 more minutes, but it's been an hour.
Oh yeah.
What are you looking up over there?
I was thinking to myself, I don't know, side quest over here.
Oh.
I was thinking about a story that I got to talk about for this episode, and I was trying to something hit me. It
Mm.
said, "Hey man, you should look up and see if CERN was doing some active stuff in
Okay.
that year that might
That seems to always kind of spiral back to them, doesn't
yeah."
it?
So it hit me, and I just wanted to look it up right quick while you were reading. So
For your story, though?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Was it active during then?
So they were active, but they did not have the Hadron Collider up yet. But
Ah,
they did have stuff in operations. So believe it or not, like the 50s,
was it?
like in the mid to late 50s, is when CERN got started.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't have enough time to find out when they actually got the Hadron up.
Mm.
But CERN kind of ties into this too. I think
Yeah.
this is what kind of inspired me. A lot of people try to say that because of CERN, we have like the Mandela effect,
Oh, yeah.
and you know different things. That's why we remember things differently, or things are different colors and stuff now
Yeah.
after the major experiments that they did. So CERN,
CERN.
that's probably a whole other episode on
Oh,
its own.
definitely.
Let us know. You don't know what CERN is? Let us know. I can't tell you what the acronym stands for, but
All right. This is another one. All right. Let me make sure it's a long one. It's not too long. All right. So, well, that was odd. I usually wake up each day around 6 a.m. On weekends, I normally just go back to sleep, but this weekend, I decided to stay up. I was too lazy to make myself food, so I checked to see what was open close to me, and it said there was a Wendy's. So I ordered on the app, drove to the drive-through, ate my breakfast, had a good day. That was yesterday. Today, I was driving and happened to see the Wendy's I got my food from. It's closed permanently. Signage taken down and everything. I double checked the address. It was the same one, but it's not in the app now. I checked online. It's been closed for 4 months. The empty bottle of orange juice, the sandwich wrappers I got from there are still in my trash. My bank statement reflects the charge at that Wendy's, the address, and the storm number are on the statement. The food was real and it was good. The address is still stored in my GPS and reflects the trip there yesterday morning. So yeah, I'm a little discombobulated here. Oh, it says the plot thickens an edit. She called the Wendy's that morning or next morning, and it has been closed since January, and has not been licensed to sell food since then. Nor do they have any employees there anymore. And this was 15 days ago. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's a
People in the comments, I found it funny when I was reading earlier. Like, you've probably got a good case for getting that money back. Charges from a closed location.
right. Dispute that thing.
um, how did this happen?
So that's a hmm
That's a good one. That one was like the very first one I read, and I
hmm
was like, wow. Like, and this, like, if there was multiple, then maybe, but like everything's the same. The statement, the GPS
like
store, like, in her GPS, it's stored that way.
did they feel full after eating it? I wonder. Was it like ghost food?
They said it
Because
was good.
because if it was ghost food, like I definitely want that money back. Wow.
That's one you can't explain away really, because like
Yeah.
it'd be one thing like if they're like if she paid cash and there was no evidence of it like in her bank statement, or it was a store she went to all the time or something she didn't have to have the GPS
Yeah.
thing. What am I trying to say here? There wasn't evidence, like physical evidence in her phone and on her bank statement and in her trash.
Yeah. That is a hard one there.
It's not like she just dreamt going to Wendy's because she didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people in those comments saying, "Well, you just did it because you didn't sleep that night."
Yeah. People always want to throw something at you. They don't understand it, so they just want to try to disprove it or shove it aside and something else.
There's
Those
a
are two really good ones, actually.
Yep. This is one about people. Uh, well, it's one person, but people just like nodding off, or not the nodding off, but zoning out. And so there was a lot of people in the comments of this one that made some good points about like when we zone out. But he's like, "This is a minor glitch that rattled me for days." Oh no.
Oh, we did this again.
Technical difficulties.
Checking the load,
We'll be right
ja.
back. Do, 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 do. Oh, all
All right.
right. Okay, back. Technical difficulties
You're
here.
still having difficult. No.
See? Nothing wants us to do this episode. Okay, sorry. We are back. Technical difficulties. All right, so back to square one is the title of this. Minor glitch that rattled me for days. One day, I want to say around 2017, I left my apartment for a walk to the grocery. I lit a cigarette as soon as I stepped outside. This is important. I walked down my block about 5 minutes to a four-way intersection. I needed to make a left, cross one street, then a right on the corner to cross another. When I reached the first corner, I looked down at my cigarette to realize it was almost done. I looked across the street and saw a storm drain at corner 2 and said to myself, I'll take these last puffs and throw it in the sewer. So I crossed the street 1, waited for the green light to turn red and crossed street 2. I tossed the butt in the drain at corner 2. I was walking without much regard to my surroundings, but once I looked up, I somehow ended up back across both streets, walking the opposite direction halfway back to my house. I somehow crossed both streets and ended up back and ended but backtracked further than those two corners. My cigarette was gone, which signals I had definitely crossed both streets. I had chills all day and could not stop thinking about what could have happened for days. I did not cross any other streets after Street 2, and there was traffic in both directions. It's as if stepping into onto corner 2 teleported me back to my original position, turned around, and I just kept walking.
Wow. So That is a strange one. I do have one comment on that one for sure. Don't ever throw your cigarette butts in
Yeah.
drains. Don't do that, okay? Because I don't care if you're in the city or whatever. I repaired storage drains for a long time. There's trash. There's things in there that are dry. That are built up stored gases and stuff. You can throw your cigarette in there and that thing can blow up on you.
Oh yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. He said he was young and dumb, and he never does it. He doesn't even smoke anymore. So,
Yeah, don't
but
smoke.
the first comment suggests possible in quantum immortality here too. That maybe he possibly had
He got
gotten.
hit by a car or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, definitely a possibility. I mean,
Yeah.
if this is a thing, and this quantum immortality, if I'm not mistaken, I think the one of the theories is like it's not quite the like reincarnation like people used to believe in. I'm not shaming anyone that thinks in reincarnation or anything like that, but that was a theory that you come back as like a lesser being, or you come back and you redo the same
Yeah.
things or whatever. But I guess people are now thinking that it's like a more fluid timeline thing where like you die and then now you end up in a reality where you're not dead.
Yeah.
You you skip
Yeah.
whatever it may be, time, a realm, a dimension, a universe, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And so you cognitively don't ever realize that you
Yeah.
die.
Unless you end up with situations where this or you have
Yeah.
or those two girls where they remember the clothes being different and whatnot.
Yeah, you have incidents like this and things that make you scratch your head and you have a memory that's unexplainable, but nobody else around you has recollection of any
Yeah.
of that. It's usually how the stories
Mm-hmm.
go. So
Yeah, there's some comments down here asking. He said the comments like, "I noticed you mentioned not taking notice, zoning out for a while before realizing things went wrong." He said it's a common theme I'm picking up across many of these stories in this sub. I think it's a correlation. Zoning out leads to the glitch.
it's like the loading screen kind of.
Yeah, like somebody's like he's I what is it on here? Like, I wonder if the glitch is something that causes you to zone out, or if us zoning out is the cause of it. But I could see that possibly. I don't know. I guess it could possibly be either one because sometimes you don't notice anything at
Excuse
all.
me.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, since we're talking about the Matrix, I mean, Matrix follows along with like simulation and
Yeah.
those kind of things. Like I always have this weird theory or this feeling since I was pretty young that like when you're traveling, you're on a road trip,
Yeah.
yeah, and like you just hit vast expanses of like blankness, basically just fields and
Yeah.
woods or whatever. Or like you feel like you've passed like the same house a couple of times, like
Mm.
things start to look the same. I think maybe it's like a loading screen getting us to the next like GTA back in the day when
Yeah.
like PS2, you drove so far and then it like went to a screen and then you had to wait. Or sometimes it was kind of glitchy and it was like not quite the road wasn't quite there. It was just like colors and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it come there and there'd be a car and you smash it like. So I don't know. I think it's definitely a theory.
Yeah. Let's see. This one, I think, is a long one.
I
This,
question everything, as should you.
yes, most definitely. Always keep an open
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, I don't have too many things that I'm dead set on. Like this is absolute.
No.
I have a few, but outside of that, like I question everything, and
Yeah. I'd like to have discussions
I
about
may,
what
I'm,
you think.
yeah,
Maybe something you think clicks with something I think, and maybe
yeah,
you side quest and you come up with a whole nother situation.
yeah. Seeing it from like your point of view, you bring something to our attention that we've never thought of, or a different way to look at it, and
Yeah. Maybe I could spiral on your idea
yeah,
and find out something new.
I think that's another reason why some people are afraid of like actually sitting down and talking to people.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because they're afraid that like it might open something up in
Hmm.
their mind, and they're afraid of that.
Or they're like already on the brink of believing something or not believing something anymore. So talking to somebody might push them over the edge and they're afraid
Yeah,
of change. And
yeah. Oh, if this is not real, then
yeah.
oh, my whole life is fake, and
Yeah. Or
it's a
I've
spiral.
dedicated my life to this for so many years and here I am and now I
Oh,
have to.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you at home. I know me and you. We've unplugged from things, if you want to call it that. Like we've opened our minds and we've elevated, and we've expanded, and
Yeah.
we've seen the things, and we know how hard it is
Oh, yeah.
to like cope with everyday life
It's
after
a
that.
there's definitely a grieving process sometimes
Yeah,
to the things that you once believed or thought or
yeah. So that's kind of what inspired us to make this,
yeah.
and that's why we're here right now with you guys.
Yeah. I
So,
want to hear your stories. I want to know your tales.
yeah. We don't shame anyone here. We don't think anyone's dumb.
Mm-mm.
No story. Well, okay, I can't say that. No story. Some stories are pretty crazy, but
All right, this is one I think you saved because I don't remember this one, but it looks pretty long. It's like I've told this story before, but here it goes. When I was a kid, my family and I went for a walk on the beach during midwinter because we are a little eccentric like that. Halfway through the walk, it started blizzarding. It started blizzarding. I can't say this
yeah,
word.
these people do remember the stories.
Okay,
Some
so
of
it
their grammar
started
is nuts.
snowing fiercely, and we decided to head back to the car. On the way back to the car park, my brother and I were complaining of being tired, hungry, and thirsty, but my dad, who was born and raised in the area, assured us that there was nowhere to buy food and drink anywhere near that particular beach. However, as we battled through the whiteout towards the Lord, as we battled through the whiteout towards the car park, a building loomed out of the blizzard. It was a strange building, like an annex to a 60s, 70s modern comprehensive school. People from the UK will know this style. And squeezed in between four hedgerows atop the spine of a long, flat sand dune, as though it were there first and the ancient and haggard hedges had somehow grown up around it. Outside was a sandwich board advertising hot drinks and snacks, so we bundled on in. The place was packed. There must have been 4 or 5 dozen tables, and every single one was heaving with pensioners eating tea, toast, tea cake, soup, etc. When we arrived, there was no other cars in the car park, and the nearest bus stop was in the village at the end of the track, a good few miles away. So goodness knows where all these people had come from. The room itself was very strange. The tables and chairs were all mismatched and arranged around glass displayed cases or podiums filled with moldering taxidermy specimens of wildlife, except many of the examples were either creatures who lived nowhere near the sea, hedgehogs, badgers, voles, etc., or animals that are native or very rare to the area, cormorants, advocates, polovers, etc. At the center of the room was a squared off spiral staircase leading to the upstairs, which, having no curtains visible from the outside and being in the middle of the day in a bright white snowstorm, was pitch black dark. I mean, so black we couldn't even see the top of the staircase banisters. We sat down, and my dad went off to get us some food. The oddest thing is that even at the age I remember looking at the prices on the wall and being very confused because they were all in old money with prices in halfpennies, sixpence, and shillings, etc.
Shillings.
It was an open bass
Open
kitchen.
pass.
Oh, yep, that is a P, not a B, but it certainly looked like a P to me for or B to me for a second.
Chef here has never heard of an open bass kitchen, so
It was an open pass kitchen, and all the equipment behind it looked very old or retro, I guess, as did the clothes of the very plump, happy woman working behind the counter. When my dad came back with the food, he couldn't stop talking about how amazingly cheap it was and how the woman who served him spoke to him using ultra specific regional dialect terms he thought had completely died out decades ago. He said it was like being a schoolboy at the tuck shop again. We ate our very, very generous and delicious tea cakes and hot chocolate, got back into our coats, hats, scarves, and gloves, and walked back out into the still raging blizzard. The whole time we were there, not a single other person entered or left, despite many tables clearly having finished eating before we even arrived. We battled back to our car, and with much difficulty maneuvered it back onto the track to the main road and headed home. In the years to come, we visited the beach again many, many times. The building was not there. Not only was it not there, there were no signs it had ever been there. No rubble, no ruins, no footprints, no foundations. Not even the ancient looking hedges that had been squeezed into itself it squeezed and said hmm not even the ancient looking hedges that it had squeezed itself inside of. Due to the beach being on a technical difficulties. There we go. Of course. Due to the beach being on a long, predominantly jutting out onto a major shipping channel, the area has been feditiously mapped for centuries. Using my student historical archive access, I studied maps of the area for roughly every decade, right back to the early 19th and I'm guessing century, but the way
Yeah.
they wrote it was weird. And according to them, there were never ever a building on that site. Now, it's easy to think as I've grown older, I've become confused to which beach we visited, but my dad, who was born and raised there, knew exactly which beach we were on, and the beach itself is very, very distinctive. A very long, thin teardrop bite of sand extending across the river estuary mouth. I know it must have been that beach because I remember seeing the red warning beacons at the top of the suspension bridge crossing the estuary blinking through the blizzard. That the place doesn't exist, had never existed. I ate tea cakes and drank hot chocolate with my family in a place that simply never was.
Yeah. Yeah, those people's grammar was really bad. And
I don't think
that's
it
saying a lot coming from me.
I, I really don't think it was their grammar. I think it's just the way they wrote. Like
Yeah.
it's not something we are
Um
used to.
this is another common thing that I found in my research. I really liked it when I came across this one. It really reminded me of that 11/22/63
Oh yeah, with
with Franco.
mhm.
Yeah. With the diner and stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's in not America, wherever it may be. I'm not sure. I didn't do the research into that.
Yeah.
But because in America it would be debunked 100% because of the money. Once he handed him some big face money,
Yeah.
they'd be like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
But still, the idea of the possibility of the right place, the right time, the certain conditions, something like this can pop up and show up is it's interesting. It's a rabbit hole I like to dig down.
Oh yeah. Definitely leads more into like the merging or crossing or blending of timelines and that it might not necessarily be like the exact same time on said timelines, it's just the same place. So it could be 1950s and 2005 merging or said, vice versa
Right. He claims that it had never existed. So
in
it would,
this universe.
yeah, it would imply, yeah, exactly. So some parallel,
Yes.
yeah, some kind of field, some kind of player. Yep, you know what I'm trying to say.
You have anything?
So I have a quick little story. We can kind of give you guys the breakdown of it. I don't want to spend too much time on it. 1 second to find it here. So, are you familiar with the flight that took 37 years?
Slightly.
All right. So this is a popular internet story. I've told no. I have heard several different versions of it. It is debated and argued all over the internet. People say it's completely fake. I don't believe in saying anything is completely fake.
Yeah.
Question everything. I think there may be some truth behind this one. I think it has a possibility.
Okay. Let's hear
So
it.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of basic rundown facts of the story, and then I'm gonna tell you kind of like the story version that I've heard, and kind of talk about it. So basically, the story always starts out that there was a Pan Am flight, July 2nd, 1955. This particular flight was a Douglas D-64. So if you're not familiar with planes, it is a very large person carry, like a passenger plane, and it has props.
Hmm.
We don't use propped airplanes anymore. This was the 50s. So basically, it was departing New York City, and was supposed to be going to Miami. So somewhere along the flight, it falls off the radar. Traffic control can't find it. They try to reach out. There was never no distress call. There was no any kind of communications that would suggest. They sent out some search parties, some flyovers, try to find around the last location. Couldn't find nothing. Presumed lost at sea.
Yep.
So the story that I heard is that May 21st, 1992, a DC-4 flying the same Pan Am tail numbers and the same Pan Am everything, an exact replica of this plane, is flying into Caracas, Venezuela. They find a blip. This plane just automatically appears on their little radar. That captain is giving a distress call. He's calling out, Mayday, Mayday, whatever the case may be. The traffic control in Venezuela, they reach out to him. They clear out a place for him to land. They tell him to land. They are confused because this is 1992. There's not that many prop commercial prop planes being
Yeah.
flown from the United States. I mean, there are some in commission, but it is rather unusual.
Yeah.
They're trying to communicate with the pilot. Hey, like, oh, my light's dying. Hey, we don't have any record of this. Please, give the information. The pilot comes back completely flabbergasted. You can tell he's in distress. He's given out his call signs, all the information he's given. He also gives out a date that this flight was leaving in the 50s. I know I just started the story. So they let him land. They're trying to explain to him, we don't have any record of this. This
Yeah.
seems really odd. Supposedly, the pilot is now made more uncomfortable by seeing, all these modern things and
Yeah.
things that just don't match the time.
Yeah.
So he freaks out. He tells air traffic control, "Don't come near us. We're leaving." They get in. They fly off. They track them on their little radar for a little while, but nothing is ever seen or heard from again, supposedly. The story, as I know it, they left Venezuela, flew back to Miami, which was their original destination from
Yeah.
New York to Miami. After landing in Miami, they were taken over by obviously government entities,
Yeah.
guys in the suits. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's why I think that there may be a little bit because if for whatever reason, if the pilot does land in Venezuela,
Yeah.
he gets spooked. He sees things that now Venezuela is probably still behind the times compared to what America would look like to him.
Yeah.
But there were some modern jets and stuff. He's probably never seen a commercial jet, whatever. So maybe he did get spooked, and he's like, "Freak it, we got enough gas. I'm gonna get up in the air and I'm gonna try to get us back."
Yeah.
He gets his bearings, gets his back. It's just whenever they popped into time, that's where they were closest to. He
Yeah.
wanted to land. He didn't know what the heck was going
Yeah.
on.
Definitely another one of those crossing timeline things again.
That is,
Rifts in time or
yeah,
whatever.
that is
A
definitely one of
wrinkle in time.
that is one of my favorite glitch stories.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. I think that there is. I'm fascinated with airplanes. My dad worked on airplanes all my life, so I'm intrigued by missing flights.
Definitely that's a big piece of machinery just to
Yeah,
disappear and show back up.
and it would be really really weird to see even in 1992. Like I said, there were some still in commission, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but that would have been a really awkward sight. Or not even the prop to see Pan Am in
Yeah.
1992. I don't remember. I did not do that, but I'm pretty sure Pan Am was not a company in the 90s.
I can ask. Let's
Yeah,
see for Siri. Oh,
it's been a
I'm
while since I
using.
watched The Aviator.
I can't use my Siri because I'm recording on my phone.
You want to set the premise for this next story
Oh, I
while
think
I look up Pan Am real quick?
this one is another. It's a shorter one. I think it's the last one I've got. But so this happened to me about 12 years ago, and I haven't told a lot of people outside of my family about it. But I think it happened. I think about it all the time, and I still wonder what the hell happened. Want to go ahead and finish your bit?
Oh yeah, we just snaked it in. It said that they stopped operations December 4th, 1991, after filing for bankruptcy.
So it's still
So they
1990.
landed in '92. So there shouldn't have been any Pan Am planes
Yeah,
in the in the air,
that would definitely be a weird sight.
unless someone hijacked one. Like they found one in an airplane graveyard or an
Yeah,
old hangar.
something. All right, so this is about the accident that didn't happen. To start, I do not drink or do drugs, and I am not, was not on any prescription medications with crazy side effects. I woke up about around 6 a.m. one day and started driving. Whew, let me restart that. Oh, yeah.
Elevation.
I woke up around 6 one day and was driving a few hours to a neighboring state to buy a car. I was wide awake, got my snacks and coffee, and was driving along happily, singing to my music. No one else was with me. About halfway into the drive along a one lane each direction highway, the semi that I had been behind for a while began to jackknife right in front of me. I slammed violently on my brakes and came to a screeching halt in the middle of the highway, bracing to hit the truck. And then I blinked, and it wasn't happening anymore. The semi was still in front of me, but just driving away normally. I was so shaken up and could never explain it. I thought maybe a premonition or an echo of something that had happened there before. Would love to hear any stories that may be similar or thoughts on what that even was.
Yep. It definitely is like a classic quantum timeline.
Definitely another quantum immortality thing.
Yeah.
They must have ran into the truck.
Yeah. Or someone slammed into the back of them or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something happened there.
it's a little Final Destination y.
Yeah.
That's a good deep dive. What if those were just quantum?
Well, because time does come back for him.
I
So
mean,
like it
yes, death comes back for them, but
yeah.
we don't see the story after death takes them. Maybe there's another line where it didn't happen.
Hmm,
Guess we'll never know.
that's a crazy one. Since we're talking about timeline glitches and weird things, a popular story going around the internet these days. The man with the new tree.
Or the tree that's moving.
Yeah. Well, he says
Yeah,
that
he
that
did
tree
say,
never existed.
yeah, because he's lived there. Like it's not on Google Maps or anything.
Yeah. All the aerial stuff, his childhood photos. In the videos I've seen, I haven't seen him shown any photos.
Yeah, no.
And even if so, I mean,
Yeah,
you can edit a photo pretty easily. Um, he's like measured it out. He's like tied the ropes to it. I've seen it on like local news is running it. Like it's a viral story right now. Is this a possibility?
I mean, there's always a possibility.
Yes, there is always a possibility.
There
When
are
Go ahead.
there are such things as walking trees, but the tree that he seems to be talking about doesn't look like a walking tree. So, and it's a big old tree. I think you there would be evidence of it pulling up and moving.
Yeah, I mean, the second Lord of the Rings movie is like 60% just walking trees.
This is true.
Oh, Lord of the Rings is not glitches with the Matrix. That is cinematography. Very great cinematography.
Yeah, I did see a
Cinematography.
couple. I've only seen a few videos. I think like three maybe of this whole thing. I haven't doom scrolled on it yet.
Oh yeah, I haven't looked at the whole thing.
But there's been a couple like people in the comments saying that there's somebody going around on TikTok saying that I'm moving my neighbor's tree to mess with him. And so I was like, is this just being facetious? Because that's a big tree. That's something you can move.
Yeah, you can't just move a tree without being
I mean,
noticed. I
some trees.
I've
This
moved
tree,
trees.
no.
I've moved trees.
Small little baby saplings, maybe. This tree, no. There's no way.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. There'd be evidence all over the ground,
Yeah.
and you'd have to have some kind of major piece of machinery.
Oh yeah.
Nah. Bark would be all torn. Nah, that's not possible.
No, there's no possibility of this person moving his tree.
I guess we'll see where that rabbit hole takes us.
Yeah, I might have to deep dive on that one. You got anything else?
Yeah, I think I got a little time jump scenario for us
All
before we
right. What
wrap
we
this
got?
thing up.
What we got?
So, a little what if.
A little what if?
All right,
What if? What if?
all right. Listen to me now. We're gonna take this trip.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
go.
Say it's a ladies' night, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you and your girls getting out. Y'all doing some little sipping paint, or y'all doing some whatever. Y'all just having a good old time, right?
Yeah.
Come home. go to bed, and you wake up. You wake up and you're squinting your eyes, and you're like, damn, like, squinting. It's all crazy. Everything's different. You start to look around, and everything is like, you know how the Asian houses look with the little slats and like the little rice papers and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're like that, and then you realize you're on the floor. You're like, what, man? How much did I drink? You know, you're all confused. You get up, find a newspaper by the door. The date of the newspaper, August 4th, 1945, and you were in Hiroshima
Oh Lord.
2 days before the atomic bomb drops.
And I know this.
You know that the atomic bomb drops in 2 days. The people of Hiroshima don't because it's 1945.
Well, yeah, but I was like, I know.
Yeah, I mean, you're a little hungover, but you put it together.
So not only did I travel back in time, I traveled locations. Am I?
Yeah,
So what do I do? Well, nobody's gonna believe me. I can try and warn people. Nobody's gonna believe me.
you
So
can't even talk the language because they were not speaking English that much back then.
well, I don't know all about that, but I'm pretty sure there was some people. But
Yeah,
still,
there's a few
nobody's
people.
gonna believe me. I can try and save as many people as would listen and believe me.
Okay, but
But
what do
I'm
you
trying.
do?
I'm getting out.
You basically know that you have 2 days left.
I'm gonna try my hardest to get out because I don't know at
How
this
are you?
point.
How are you getting out?
I'm just
You can't
like,
fly out.
well, I'm finding some way out of Hiroshima at the very least.
Okay, so you think you're gonna get far enough away? You have
Yeah,
no money. You have no way to buy a way onto a boat.
I'm finding something. Obviously, I woke up somewhere. I'm pretty sure somebody's got some pants and a purse or a wallet I can steal some kind of money from.
So you're gonna steal some money
Yeah,
and you're gonna barter your way onto a boat.
something. I'm trying to get out of there.
So I mean, I guess maybe you could get a train ticket.
Yeah.
You don't need ID for a train ticket. I don't think.
Back then it was a different time. You probably didn't need ID for a lot of things.
You probably.
As long as I'm not trying to leave the country.
Yeah, you are obviously.
So I look the same. I just wake up
Yeah,
in this
you're
random
still the
spot.
same person. You're still wearing your one heel and your your one eyelash and everything from girls' night.
I'm still trying to find my way out. I know what's happening. I might try and save people, but they ain't gonna listen to me. One, they probably can't understand me. Two, they're not gonna believe.
You're not.
I mean, they might. It is wartime, so we had at that point had been in war 5 months, 6 months at that point. So it's possible. I mean, I might have to. I might
I
have to.
mean,
Well,
you
that's.
might not even be able to walk down the
I
streets
mean,
being
this is true.
American.
Maybe.
I mean, they are mad. They bombed us.
I know they bombed us. I was about to give some information I probably shouldn't give away like that.
Yeah.
I stopped myself.
Yep. I know what you were gonna say. But yeah, I don't know. I think I would probably try to find a little hideaway and enjoy my last days enjoying the Japanese culture. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I'm absolutely in love with Japan and Japanese culture, Japanese food,
Yes.
everything Japanese.
Yeah.
I love it.
We've had Japanese the last 2 nights.
Yeah.
They tell me.
Yeah, we have ate Japanese food, and I've opened up Pokemon every day for the last couple days. So
Yep. All right, my guys. So I want to hear your stories. Leave them in the comments. Better yet, send us some of your stories so we can do a listeners read
yeah, listeners'
episode.
submissions.
So we want to hear your stories of time jumps, glitches in the matrix, paranormal encounters, cryptid encounters, your thoughts on conspiracy theories you pick because we haven't even made it that far yet at this point. But I want the stories rolling in, so I have lots to choose from. So I will leave our email address in the description below, and can't wait to hear from you guys. So thank
Stay safe out there and question everything.
we love you guys. Till
Love
next
you.
time.
We're out.
Deuces!